Councillor Martin.
Yep, present, correct.
Lovely. Councillor May.
Present.
Lovely, thank you. Councillor Mould.
Yes, I'm here, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Thomas.
Yes, I'm here.
Lovely, thank you. Councillor Tudor.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Lovely, thank you. Councillor Kenny, can you confirm you're back from the break, please? So it's just Councillor Kenny we're getting confirmation from.
Rowena, it's Emma. Just to let you know that the live stream operator has confirmed we are now live again.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Kenny, can you confirm that you're back from the break, please? Chairman, we're just waiting confirmation that Councillor Kenny has returned from the break.
Right, shall we just wait a moment then?
Okay. Councillor Kenny, can you confirm if you're back from the break, please? You're on mute.
I wonder if we should just give Councillor Kenny a call.
I can try and ring her, Chairman, just one moment.
Chairman, it's Emma. Just let you know that Rowena's going to try calling Councillor Kenny.
Thank you.
Chairman, I've spoken to Councillor Kenny. If Councillor Kenny can just confirm she's back from the break, please.
Thank you. Councillor Kenny.
Councillor Kenny, you're on mute.
Councillor Kenny's just written in the chat box, Rowena. I'm here.
Right, she's having trouble with her sound. Okay.
I think I'm now here.
You're back. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Thank you. We'll move swiftly on then. Another 3 items. We move up the road to Truro. Agenda item 4.5. PA 210050. Mr. and Mrs. Anthony Ogard. Land rear of 3 Benson Road, Truro. The subdivision of a plot and creation of a new dwelling at the rear. The case officer is Tim Marsh. Are you there, Tim?
I am. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, and we can see your presentation as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, the key issues in this proposal are firstly the suitability of the site for residential development, character issues as raised by the City Council, potential impacts on neighbours, access and parking, flood risk and surface water drainage, potential impacts on the European site, and lastly planning conditions including construction management plan. So this is the site location plan. It's on Benson Road, between Benson Road and Grenville Road, which is to the north of the Hendra Skate Park and to the west of Victoria Gardens. And as you can see here, it's outside the conservation area. That's the conservation area boundary dotted in purple to the east, and then the listed viaduct to the south. So you can see from this aerial photograph the pattern of development in the area, which is you have these line of semi-detached and terraced houses with long rear gardens and generally garages on the upper slope. And this plot that is proposed is one of those, and the proposed dwelling is on the upper part of the site facing onto Grenville Road. You can see here from the cross section that the site rises up northwards. That's the existing garage where the dwelling is proposed, and that's the existing property. And then there'll be a fence that will go in here. So this is the proposed site plan. You can see it's provision has been made for 2 cars off street. And the main living area is on the ground floor, and then there'll be a basement level utilising the slope to provide the bedrooms. And then you can see from the elevations here that you've got a patio going out onto the garden, and then these raised high-level windows to restrict the potential overlooking to neighbours. And the combination of those high-level windows and the levels and the fence are considered to provide a satisfactory relationship in terms of neighbour impacts. This is the proposed, the existing property on Benson Road. This is the garage that is going to be removed in order to provide for the development. Then looking down towards Benson Road from the other side, you can see here, and then this is looking across from the adjoining property, looking west. You can see the viaduct behind, and then this is looking across from number 2. So that's you could just on Benson Road. And then this is within the garage of number 2, looking up towards the site where the proposed dwelling would be situated. This is some photographs of number 1, which is referred to in my report, which has recently been constructed and is a similar design, form and materials to the dwelling that's proposed, which is in this plot here. That's actually the garage to number 2, and then the plot is just behind. I've included these photographs here so you can see the existing relationship of the dwelling that's been constructed on number 1 with the existing property and the neighbour, with this steps going down the side and the flat roof. So in terms of the balance of considerations, there are some benefits in terms of contributing to housing supply, supporting local services and economic benefits from the construction phase. The site is very sustainably located in the centre of Truro, close to facilities and amenities. As I've just mentioned, the permission of number 1 has established an acceptability in principle. Proposed layout, scale and design and appearance are all considered to be acceptable and not resulting in adverse impacts on the character of the area or the amenities of nearby residents. Access, parking and turning provision are acceptable as confirmed by the highway officer. So on balance, the proposed development is considered to be acceptable and accord with the relevant policies of the Cornwall local plan and the Truro and Kenwood neighbourhood plan, and the recommendation is for conditional approval accordingly. Thank you, Chairman. Thank
you very much. We don't have any member of the public speaking in objection, but we do have Councillor Stephen Webb from Truro City Council speaking in objection. Can you hear us, Councillor Webb? Are you there?
Chairman, if Councillor Webb could press *6 to unmute his telephone, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Councillor Webb. Can you hear us?
I can hear you, yes. Thank you, Chairman.
Good. Councillor Webb, you have 3 minutes now to put your case, and you'll be told when 30 seconds remain. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you. Hendra is a great example of a council housing development using the land contours for the streets, the distinctive, attractive domestic architecture combined that make Hendra spacious and a special place to live. Both of these applications, this one and the next one, 3 and 4 Benson Road, have narrow gardens, unlike a couple of developments built on the larger plots nearby. They have their own vehicle access. Cramming a house onto the end of a narrow garden leaves little amenity space for both houses and would... my computer's about to shut down. Wait an hour. Cramming a house onto the end of a narrow garden leaves little amenity space for both houses and would block vehicle access to the original property, putting pressure on the street. Hendra was built with when very few people own cars, The streets were narrow and cannot accept any further increase in street parking. A similar application, number 1 Grenville Road, which is actually the road that these will be built on, the road above, was refused just last month, and I quote, "The proposed development, by reason of its sitting and the location of the plot, does not respect the established pattern, form and layout of the development in the locality, and does not promote continuity with the existing built form. Furthermore, the close proximity of the proposed unit to the adjacent existing property to the south will result in overbearing and overshadowing impacts to the future occupiers of each unit. The development therefore fails to accord with policies 1, 2 and 12 of the Cornwall Local Plan, policies E4 and H1 of the Truro and Kenwood Neighbourhood Plan, paragraphs 8, 124, 127 of the National Planning Framework." End quote. And that was a single story. The case officer for this application argues that garages and sheds have been erected on some of the gardens. That's true. But garages and timber sheds are substantially different to overbearing 2-story houses cramped onto narrow sloping gardens, overlooking original houses and gardens both sides. Number 3 has a balcony going the full length that will overlook. These applications will begin the process of increasing the density and of the estate in an unplanned way and does not complement or enhance the estate.
30 seconds remaining.
Thank you. It is uncoordinated, sporadic construction of houses along an undeveloped side of the streets. It would fundamentally change the character of the estate for the worst. The design is mundane and completely out of character. Hendra has many qualities of a garden village that Cornwall Council would like to build. Truro City Council was unanimous in refusal. So the Truro City Council urges you to refuse on these applications. Last paragraph. Based on overlooking how...
I'm sorry, Councillor Webb, I have to stop you at 3 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. Perhaps you stay on, though, in case there are some questions. By the way...
No problem.
Thank you, Councillor Dyer, your camera is on. Right, are there any quick questions for clarification to Councillor Webb, please? I see none indicated. Would you concur, please, Vice Chairman?
Yes, Chairman.
Oh, there we go. Councillor Tudor.
Yeah, I'm sorry again, it's this delay thing. Yeah, I would just like to ask Councillor Webb, I just missed the address of the planning application that was refused last month, and the on which grounds? The one nearby?
Yeah, it was 1 Grenville Road, which is actually the actual road that these will actually be built onto.
Yes.
I think we can see that clearly by the maps that the case officer is showing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. There are no other queries, so thank you very much, Councillor Webb. And we now move on to hearing from Mr. John Cook as the agent for this application. Can you hear us, Mr. Cook?
Chairman, if Mr. Cook could press *6 to unmute his phone. Thank you.
Hello.
I have pressed those magic buttons and you can hear me, I hope.
Good. Okay, Mr. Cook, you have 3 minutes and you'll be told when 30 seconds remain.
Thank you very much. Well, this site lies within a residential area sustainably located within Truro. In terms of constraints, the site's not located within or affecting the setting of a conservation area, does not impact on any listed building or its setting. There are no protected trees or landscapes recognised for their particular importance. The overall estate design is not recognised as unique, such that a specific character, layout or relationship between dwellings, open spaces, freezes the estate in time, never to change. There is no evidence that the development would cause overlooking or that neighbours would suffer any material loss of amenity. While it's undeniable that the location will change as a result of the development, it is a change to be embraced. Positive change making the best use of land as encouraged by adopted policy, creating a home well related to facilities, services and employment helping reduce pressure to release greenfield sites that impact flood risk, adversely impact biodiversity, and reduce the rural characteristic of the county. Policies set down the development plan, and particularly in the Truro and Kenwyn neighbourhood plan, are such that the development proposal complies with that document's definition of sustainable development and comprises design, materials common to the area and suitable to the location. There's no specific policy that stands against garden redevelopment in principle. The section of highway accommodating the proposed dwelling has the rear gardens of dwellings generally to the southwest, facing the front gardens of dwellings generally to the northeast, while some are landscaped, others present a less pleasant appearance. A domestic garage, an area containing domestic paraphernalia, is to be replaced by a dwelling of modern design, not dissimilar to others recently permitted, and set down and split level to respond to contours and avoid adverse impact. Making the best use of land in the manner proposed should be encouraged if we are to reduce the harm that development can cause to provide homes in a sustainable manner. The dwelling will provide a good level of amenity for future occupants, and the garden, currently large, will still provide an ample level of amenity for existing occupiers rather than being cramped as has been suggested. The Town Council referred to unwanted creation of a new street, but the general lack of objections received would not suggest this is the view of the majority of the area's residents. This proposal and another proposed on neighbouring land, considered later on this agenda, provide for an efficient street with a development on both sides while still satisfying adopted design standards such that a good quality home will result. Every site is to be treated on its own merit, and in these circumstances I ask that you recognise and embrace a sustainable development and support your planning officer in its delivery through granting planning permission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cook. Are there any questions for Mr. Cook, please? I see nothing indicated. Again, would you confirm, please, Vice Chairman?
Yes, Chairman, happy to confirm.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Then thank you very much, Mr. Cook, for attending.
Thank you.
And we move straight on to Councillor Harris. Are you there, Councillor Harris?
Chairman, it's Emma Code. Councillor Harris is unable to attend the meeting today because he's attending other meetings, but he would like it known that his comments are as expressed in the committee reports. That's for this item and for the following item.
Right, thank you very much, Emma. Well, there's certainly no questions then. So we move straight into questions of the planning officer. Are there any questions for the planning officer? And Councillor May, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Could we just see the photograph of the garden or a picture with the garden, please?
Yes, just bear with me. Hopefully you can see that now. Can you see that?
Yes, we can see it. I think.
So I'm looking across here towards number 1 and 2. That's the lower photograph, and then this is in the gap between the existing shed to be demolished and the garage at number 4, looking down the garden.
And that's the only one you've got, Tim, is it?
That's looking across from number 2. That's looking up from number 2 to the shed that I showed you earlier on. I wasn't able to go in on the site at the time, so those are the best photographs I had.
So it's the small shed plus the greenhouse.
Yeah, that's the small shed at the top that's going, and that's basically where the dwelling will go, and that's the existing garage to number 2.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Councillor May. Councillor Kenny.
Thank you. Tim, have you got the street scene? Because as I understand it, this one and the one next to it is, although it's got one address, it's actually going to be on a different road. Have we got a street scene that shows the whole build along that street?
Sorry, you mean on Grenville Road or Benson? Because Grenville Road is, I can bring up Google Earth for if you just bear with me. Hang on.
Yeah.
Coming now. Oh, here we go. Right, you should have that now. I'll have to move myself and navigate myself around. So I'm on. This is Grenville Road here. So that's the garage at number 2 that I showed you, and in here that's where the dwelling has gone in at number 1. That's.
I was thinking more of a site location plan. You know, just a diagram was showing us where how the houses relate to each other.
Oh, that's fine. I can do that. That's okay. Hang on. Do that on the map.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah, sorry. So this is number 3 here.
Yeah.
So you can see the quite long rear gardens compared to the properties on Trelawney Road and higher up. And I think the City Council were referring to this one here, which is number 1, which you can see is quite a different plot.
And that was on the other side of the road street, wasn't it? Sort of. Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So that you can actually see on this plan where because it's actually an updated, that shows I think the where the dwelling has gone in on number 1.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other queries, please? No other questions? I see none. Again, can you confirm that, please, Vice Chairman?
Yes, that's correct, Chairman.
Yes, thank you very much. Then we move into debate, please. Who wishes to start? Councillor Alvey.
Thanks, Chair. I'll get the ball rolling then. I appreciate the City Council have objected to this, but I'm quite struck by having looked at the planning portal. Only one resident has objected, and I think if the neighbours were all that up in arms about this, we'd have seen far more local objection. On balance, I'm happy to put in an early proposal to approve as set out.
Thank you very much, Councillor Alvey. Then in that case, I'm going to go to Councillor May, who's next, to see if she wishes to second that.
Sorry, I put an X in the box before Councillor Alvey spoke.
Oh, I'm sorry, Councillor Tudor. I do apologise.
That's all right. I thought it was the damn delay again. I am.
And to you, Councillor May. Are you wishing to second, Councillor Tudor?
No, not at all.
No, then I have to come back to you because I have to get a seconder before I can continue with the debate.
Yep.
Councillor May, is that something you would wish to second?
Yes, I'm happy to second.
And would like to speak at this point?
Only to say that the only thing I was worried was when the Truro councillor spoke and did say that the other side of the road, that one got thrown out. But when Tim brought up the Googler of the other side of the road, you could see why.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I am happy to second.
Lovely. Thank you, Councillor May. Now I'll continue with the debate and go back to Councillor Tudor.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm really familiar with this area. It's the route I take to walk into town from where I live. It really is beautifully laid out cottage style council houses and ex-council houses. In fact, they're known as the cottages. They're lovely. They've got the long gardens and they're by the park. I mean, it's a really classic and sort of well-liked layout. I can understand why maybe the neighbours have not objected, because they will see an opportunity to maybe put in the same planning application for the end of their gardens, which is what I think has happened here. The one next door, where the house is being built at the end of the garden, sticks out like a sore thumb. It's not in keeping with the character of the area at all. And I think what's going to happen here is you will see progressive applications come in where people see an opportunity to build a house within their garden. I think before my time,
Hello, have you frozen, Councillor Tudor, or have I?
Chairman, I think Councillor Tudor's screen is frozen. Maybe if she turns off her video, it might help.
Councillor Tudor, would you like to turn off your video? I wasn't sure if it was me that had frozen, sorry. Councillor Tudor, I don't know if you can hear us. Councillor Tudor. I think we'd better stop the meeting and allow Councillor Tudor time to sort this out, don't you? Rowena, can I take advice, please?
Yeah, I can Councillor Tudor respond? If not, I can try and phone her and see if she can dial in.
I think that's probably a good idea. Hopefully she is leaving and rejoining, but we'd better just give her a moment to do that.
Yeah, it looks like she's left the meeting.
Hopefully she'll be trying to come back in. Should I go on to other speakers or should we pause, Rowena?
If she can't hear the meeting, then she's back now, I think.
Yeah. Apparently you may be better if you switch your camera off.
Right, okay, I'm not seeing you yet. I can hear you.
We can hear you, so if you want to switch.
Okay, when I see the camera button, I'll switch off. Sorry, I'm sorry. I've got 2 kids here also using the internet, so with their lessons. So yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, what did I get to? Yeah, the existing house that's built on the end of a garden sticks out like a sore thumb, and I'm sure that you would see progressive applications come in, which is basically creating a new road. Parking is a problem here because people keep stuff in their garages. They don't park in their garages. It's like there's not enough parking. The overspill from the parking on those streets actually goes quite wide all the way west to Comprigney Hill, where because there's a residence parking zone there. People park outside of it, so that really is a problem. If you're building something that takes a garage and parking away, I can see that would cause a problem. It's already reached a tipping point in that area anyway, and I really do take seriously what Truro Council says about the Cornwall local plan and the Truro neighbourhood plan policies being not adhered to here, and I would absolutely could not approve this planning application.
Thank you, Councillor Tudor. I've got some more speakers. Councillor Kenny and then Councillor Jewell, please. Councillor Kenny.
Yes, I'm having trouble as well. I totally agree with Councillor Tudor. I think it is setting a precedent, but I think the precedent has already been set by number 1, and obviously we've got the 2 adjacent looking at them. So effectively the decision we need to make is, are we going to approve a whole stream of houses that are sort of facing onto Grenville Road? I'm not absolutely clear what the parking arrangements are. I need to go back to the planning document, which I'll do, but I don't like it, but I'm not sure we have enough planning reasons to turn it down.
Yeah, thank you. Councillor Jewell.
Yeah, I'm in the similar vein to the 2 previous speakers, really. I think, I've called things in the past when it's altered the street scene. I think this will really alter the street scene. The one on the end, which was being developed, is on the end of the road. I could probably accept that one, but once, like Joanna was saying, once you allow this one and no doubt the next one coming on the agenda, you'll just see a ripple effect. Everyone will be on it, and I don't go much on this flat roof job really. I know it's done to make it less impact on the neighbours for vision and all that lot, but it isn't a good design. Like Councillor Tudor said, when this estate was built many years ago, it was all done, wasn't it? All done right, plenty of space, and now we're just cramming stuff in all the time. Is it a step forward? I think not. I'll leave it over to the rest of the committee.
Right, thank you, Councillor Jewell. I've got no one else indicating they wish to speak. So, and I have one proposal on the table, which is proposed by Councillor Alvey, seconded by Councillor May, for approval as set out. So, Emma, would you like to take the vote, please?
Thank you, Chairman. It will be a roll call vote. If you could indicate whether you're for, against, or abstaining. Councillor Alvey.
For.
Councillor Batters.
I think Councillor Batters may have left the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Brown. I think he's not present either.
No, I have literally just joined the meeting. I am abstaining. I don't even know which application you're voting on.
That's fine, no problem. Thank you. Councillor Bull.
For.
Councillor Dyer. Councillor Dyer.
Didn't.
For.
Yeah.
Thank you. Councillor Jewell.
Against.
Councillor Kenny.
For.
Councillor Martin.
For.
Councillor May.
For.
Councillor Mould.
For.
Councillor Thomas.
For.
Councillor Tudor.
Against.
Councillor Simmons.
For.
Emma, I think Councillor Batters has turned his microphone off. I'm not sure if it's worth double checking if he's
yes,
still here.
I am here. Sorry, the famous company arrived at the door with a package. I had to reply, but yes, I'm for.
You're for. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chairman. I can confirm that the motion to approve is being carried by 10 votes in favour, with 2 against and 1 abstention.
Thank you very much. And we move right on then to agenda item 4.6, PA 2009-383, Mrs. K. Pryor of 4 Benson Road, Truro, proposed dwelling. And again, the case officer is Tim Marsh. So over to you, please, Tim.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll just bring up. Everybody hear me okay and see the presentation?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So the key issues in this case are similar to the one we've just considered: suitability of the site for residential development, character issues, neighbour impact, access and parking, drainage, European sites, and the use of planning conditions. So yes, this site is next door to the application site we just considered at number 3, so it's number 4 Benson Road. So I've described the context to you previously, but this is the site in here, and that's the dwelling at number 1 that's been referred to. And this is the aerial photograph again, which shows that pattern of development with the long rear gardens and garages on the upper slope. So this is the existing site layout, and the dwelling that's proposed on the site at number 4 is slightly larger than the one that we've just considered at number 3. And during the course of the application, there were revisions made to pull the dwelling further away from the existing dwelling at number 4 Benson Road, and that comprised of reducing the depth of the ground floor, so the basement level projects behind it, and pulling the dwelling slightly further forward. On this scheme, there's just one off-road parking space, but there is on-street parking, and the highway officer is happy with the proposed parking and access. So these are the proposed plans. So this is the west elevation facing towards the number 5, the east facing towards number 3, which we've just looked at. And again, you can see how the site slopes down, and they're utilising levels in the same way to provide the bedrooms on the first floor on the basement level, and then the living accommodation on the ground floor. Similar high-level windows and patio doors to a sort of sunken garden. And this is the cross section, so you can see that how it's cut into the slope here, and you can see from this it is larger than the one we've just looked at, but the relationship is similar and considered to be satisfactory. This is the existing dwelling at number 4 Benson Road, and then the plot comprises of this garage here and the land next to it. So looking across, you can just see number 4, that's the grey one there. So that's looking across from that neighbouring parking area down to number 4 Benson Road. And then this is the view from within the garden looking back at the existing property. And then again, some pictures of the dwelling at number 1 that has recently been constructed that we've been referring to. And the balance of considerations are, again, some benefits in terms of contributing to housing supply, etc. The site is sustainably located. I've referred to the permission having been granted at number 1, which established the acceptability in principle. The layout, design and appearance are acceptable and not considered to result in unacceptable adverse impacts on the character or amenities of nearby residents. Access to parking and turning provisions are acceptable as confirmed by the highway officer. So on balance, the development is considered to be acceptable and to accord with the relevant policies of the Cornwall local plan, and conditional approval is recommended accordingly. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Again, we have no members of the public wishing to speak in objection. But again, Councillor Stephen Webb of Truro City Council speaking in objection. Councillor Webb, are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
Councillor Webb, would you like to speak on this application? Again, you have 3 minutes and you'll be told when 30 seconds remain. Thank you.
Yeah, I will speak, and thank you, Chairman. I wonder how many of you would have thought differently seeing this application before the other one, just looking at what's on the screen now. Literally, if we go back to the Google aerial view, what we've just voted for is a new street right in the middle of a garden village. That is exactly what Cornwall Council want at Langgarth and want in other places. It's exactly what we're trying to develop. But we've just created the precedent of a complete street right in the middle of the scene, if we can bring up the Google aerial map. And I'm just so disappointed by this. You know, gardens are important. We don't have many estates like this that have reasonable, decent-sized gardens. And just putting those 2 houses right next to each other in that garden like that on a street that is so narrow and so overparked already, creating more of a problem for the people parking there. And this is so out of character. This is just so overbearing and overlooking. You know, the one on the end is 1 story. These 2 right in the centre in the middle is just a completely different kettle of fish. And I am really disappointed by the decision of the last, what happened a moment ago, and I don't know what else to say. I'll yield back the rest of my time. But I do wonder how many would have voted different seeing this one first on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Webb. Are there any questions for clarification of Councillor Webb, please? I see no indication. Would you concur, please, Vice Chairman?
Yes, that's...
just a minute. Councillor Jewell.
Right, Councillor Jewell.
Yes, hello. Were the town council unanimous in their decision to object to this, or was it a close run thing?
No, it was far from close. It was a unanimous on both.
Gosh, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I see no other queries. Again, would you concur, please, Vice Chairman?
Yes, Chairman, that's correct.
Thank you very much. Then thank you very much, Councillor Webb. We have no one speaking as a supporter or agent on this application. And again, Councillor Harris has given us the information that he couldn't attend, but he wishes us to consider the points he's made in the report. Can you just confirm that, please, Emma?
Yeah, that's correct. His views are outlined in the officer report.
Thank you. Then we move straight on to questions of the planning officer, please. Are there any questions of the planning officer? Such an unusual event for there to be no questions to the planning officer. I'm giving it a minute or two. Here we go. Councillor Jewell.
Yeah, I might as well make it work for his money, innit? I think, Tim, would you be happy for this whole street to go this way? Or would you say, oh, enough is enough? You know, we know which way this is going. But, I mean, is this what we're planning for? Is it in the future? When this was originally, you know, a garden development many years ago, like the previous speaker said, that's what we're trying to do at Land Garden. This is what you're trying to do here, just fill in what the gardens were done originally.
Well, the answer is we look at each application on its merits, and there is a question of precedent. But as I said in the report, the number one, establish the principle doesn't necessarily mean that they're all going to be acceptable. If and when any subsequent application comes in, we need to look at them in the same way. And it may be that some of them are.
Would you come to a point that would be like a cumulative effect? You know, the amount of numbers on that street, you say, hold on a minute, this is a completely new street, or would you still like to see some gaps in between these developments?
Well, I mean, if we were in a conservation area or designated landscape, but it's not subject to any special protection. So yes, it does have its own character, but then you can present an argument as to whether actually that character is going to be harmed by the development, because you saw from the photographs of Google Street View, you've got the back gardens and domestic paraphernalia, and replaced with a modern contemporary dwelling, which is providing accommodation. So in short, you know, we have to take each application on its merits, and just because we've granted these when it's now 3 doesn't necessarily mean that all of the back gardens in the area will fall for development, because some of them will not be suitable. But I hope I answered your question. That's the best I can say. Really.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I see no further questions. Again, can you confirm, please, Vice Chairman?
Yes, that's correct, Chairman.
Thank you. Then we move straight into debate, please. Who wants to start this one? Councillor Tudor.
Just to say really what I said last time, I think we can all see what's happened here and what's going to happen here. The character will change because those of us that will be on the planning committee post May will no doubt see further applications come in, and applications for houses that by no means look like the other houses on the other streets in that area. So yeah, I'm really disappointed too. We have basically get the go ahead for everybody that lives along there that wants to make a pretty penny and take away the parking.
Thank you. Councillor Jewell, that's a new request to speak, isn't it? Yeah, Councillor Jewell.
It's my first request in open debate to speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just following on from, you know, listening to the debate earlier, you know, when I found out that the Truro City Council were unanimous, I think it's a sad reflection on us that we don't take on board some of their views. You know, you got a unanimous decision by the City Council that they think this is completely out of character. And we've gone against it. And I think, like Dulcie said, this is going to lead in the future to who knows what. I know we look at each one on an individual basis, but
we do have to look at,
is this good planning?
But we do have to look at each one on an individual basis.
And yeah, we'll see after we see who gets on the planning committee next time. We'll see who's on the committee next time, whoever is lucky enough to get in. But I don't think this is good planning.
No, I understand. I'm looking for somebody to come forward, please. Councillor May.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. You know, I have to agree with Councillor Jewell. I don't think any of us are really happy to approve, but I think we see number one, and let's forget, this isn't the only area that this will have happened in. And one could say that the officer has referred to this one in both papers. But just on the parking, the last one had 2 parking places. This one I know has got at least one. Planning officer might come back on that one. And on both sets of applications, it does say that there are, it's a parking permit area. So I would assume that residents who live there can apply for parking permits. This doesn't mean to say they're going to be guaranteed a space. But I think, unfortunately, across the board, across the whole of Cornwall and out of Cornwall, you know, we are looking at developments in gardens. And I expect there's a few of us around this committee today that might have already done it. So I won't say I'm happy to approve, but I am saying that I will approve, and I'm, you know, starting the ball rolling, Chairman.
Thank you. So you're proposing approval as set out, Councillor?
I am.
Okay. Thank you. Councillor Mould, are you prepared to second that?
Yes, I am, Madam Chair, and I concur with all that Councillor May says, and we've all been here in our divisions, we've all had this sort of, and it does go against the grain, but I'm afraid it's a sad fact that people build in their gardens, and everything has to be looked at on its in its own merit. So, you know, whilst in an ideal world I wouldn't be agreeing with it, in this instance I'm happy to second Councillor May's proposal. Thank you.
I don't think many of us would disagree with any of the points that you've made, Councillor Mould or May. I don't have anyone else listed to speak, and I do have a proposal for approval as set out, proposed by Councillor May, seconded by Councillor Mould. Emma, would you like to take the vote, please?
Thank you, Chairman. It will be a roll call vote. Could you indicate whether you're for, against or abstaining? Councillor Alvey.
For.
Councillor Batters has left the meeting. Councillor Brown.
Abstain.
Thank you. Councillor Bull.
For.
Councillor Dyer.
For.
Councillor Jewell.
Against.
Councillor Kenny.
For.
Councillor Martin.
For.
Councillor May.
For.
Councillor Mould.
For.
Councillor Thomas.
For.
Councillor Tudor.
Against.
Councillor Simmons.
For.
Thank you, Chairman. I can confirm that the motion to approve has been carried by 9 votes in favour, with 2 against and 1 abstention.
Thank you very much. And the last application of the day, oh wonderful. Agenda item 4.7, we stay in Truro, PA 2009699, Cornwall Council, Chuff House, River Street, Truro. Conversion of office to a safe place to stay facility, comprising 9 single bedrooms with ensuite bathrooms and 2 emergency rooms, staff areas, interview rooms and ancillary spaces. Installation of air source heat pump and photovoltaic panel array to roof. The case officer is Claire Broughton. Claire, are you there?
No, she's not, Chair.
Oh.
As I mentioned, I was presenting this one.
Sorry, Matt, you're presenting this one. So, Matt Stevenson, thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get the right screen up.
Borough District Council offices.
Can you see the Chuff House?
Yes, we can, Matt.
Okay. Okay, this application is before you, as it's a Cornwall Council application. We've received 1 objection, and that's from the commercial premises at the front of the site. So that's the reason why it's before you, and there's not many other speakers on this item today. So as I say, it's the conversion of an empty office building to a safe place to stay. So that's for homeless people. It comprises 9 single bedroom units. It's got a couple of emergency rooms, staffing areas, and also some ancillary space within it. The key issues are the principle of the change of use itself. So the use is a hostel, and that's a sui generis use, which is why it requires planning consent. Obviously, this office went to a C3 use under the government's new permitted development rights. It might not have needed consent, as it's a hostel and sui generis use. It does require a planning permission. So the principle has been looked at and considered to be acceptable. It's within the town centre, so it's in the conservation area. So we've had some mind, obviously, to the historic environment around it, and I'll take you through what's actually happening to the building and why we think it, well, in actual fact, an improvement on the current appearance of the building. And lastly, it's the impact on the surrounding area. And really, again, because the building's not changing much, that's to do with really how the building and its use is going to be managed going forward. And I would refer members to the condition in the recommendation on that part. So I'll quickly take you through the slides just so you know where the building is and what it looks like. So this is the location. The proposal's right in the centre of town. I'll zoom in. Here it is a bit closer. So the purple buildings are listed. And as I said before, it's all within the conservation area of Truro. Here's an aerial view of it. So as you can see, it's close to the, I think it's called the alleyway that runs up along the side here and connects River Street. This is the building as existing. So as you can see, it's of no real architectural merit at all, this particular building. Indeed, it has sort of starting to feel slightly in need of some care and attention. These are the proposed plans. As you can see, the windows get replaced with something with a more vertical emphasis, and that's using grey UPVC on some of them. And they're removing the spiral staircase and redundant pipe works. Some members are always interested in this, but they're using air source heat pumps and some solar panels on the roof for the heating and electricity supply. Again, some of the elevational changes here. There's a new entrance door and some replacement windows. The visible ones would be powder coated aluminium rainwater goods to be put on there rather than plastic. Just quickly, this is the floor layout plans. So as you can see on the ground floor, it says floor 0. That's got the sort of the communal areas and the staffing areas. Again, you can see the entrance doors to it. And then the first floor shows you the bedroom layout, so all single beds. And again on the floor 2 as well, and just a roof plan showing where the panels are, although they are set back from the front of the property, so you can't actually see them from the street level. There's some sort of upgrading to the amenity areas, the outdoor amenity areas. The pedestrian route between River Street and to the Leats, which I mentioned earlier, that's going to be resurfaced with granite, which is seen as a positive, and with some planters also put in place there for planting. This is the building itself, so just some quick photographs. So this is from the Leats itself. This is the building in question. You can see the spiral staircase, which is to be removed, and those not particularly attractive windows, which are going to be replaced by the more vertical form of glazing that's going in. And again, this is more of a close-up of that building. The bottom image shows you the alleyway that runs up alongside, and to the left there you can just see the retail premises, sports shop, and that's the objector to this particular scheme. Their objections are based really around the management of the use of the premises, and as I previously mentioned, we've got a condition in there to ensure that the premises are properly managed to a management plan. And here's some further images just showing the building in its round. So just to conclude, in the balance of considerations, the proposal will contribute to meeting the council's strategic needs and objectives and statutory responsibilities for housing the homeless. It provides a more permanent solution to the temporary pods which are at Carrick House at present. There are very limited external changes to the building. The case officer considers those to have a neutral impact and cause less than substantial harm to the conservation area and setting a nearby list of buildings, and this would be outweighed by the public benefits of providing the scheme. There's clear social and environmental benefits of the scheme, and these are considered to comply with the local plan and the neighbourhood plan. And as mentioned before, the management strategy would be required to be submitted and approved and actioned. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. We have no member of the public speaking in objection and no parish or town council representative, but I believe we do have Mr. Sam Irving speaking on behalf of the applicant. Sam, are you there, Mr. Irving?
Hello, yes. Can everyone hear me?
Yes. You have 3 minutes and you'll be told when 30 seconds remain.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairman and members. I'm Cornwall Council's Head of Delivery and Development. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. Truro is one of Cornwall's hotspots in terms of the number of rough sleepers we have. Sadly, since the start of the pandemic, that need has grown and the council is now providing significantly more people with temporary accommodation compared to this time last year. In response to the government Everyone In drive in 2020, the council and partners worked tirelessly to provide additional emergency accommodation to house vulnerable people that may otherwise be on the streets and at an increased risk of contracting COVID-19. These schemes have been highly successful, arguably none more so in what's become known as the Carrick Cabin site, which has provided 11 emergency accommodation pods. The site has received praise from support organisations, the media, police and residents themselves. Provision of such accommodation has proved to be game-changing. We've been able to properly engage with people with entrenched rough sleeping behaviours and provide them with safe, warm and dry accommodation and help them on a pathway to settled housing. However, schemes like Carrick Cabins are only temporary. We need a range of permanent facilities. This is why I'm presenting Chuff House to you today, which is the first in what we hope will be a programme of permanent initiatives to provide specifically designed, high-quality accommodation to help end the need for anyone to sleep rough in Cornwall. The proposal seeks to renovate a vacant building in the centre of Truro into a new, bespoke, rapid assessment centre. The scheme's been designed to work with the historic nature of this building's fabric and bring it back to life. It will provide 9 self-contained bedrooms, including disabled access room, each with ensuite and kitchenette. 2 emergency rooms are included. The scheme proposes dedicated office and meeting space for staff to interact with clients, on-site laundry facilities, lounges and CCTV inside and out. A full fire suppression and security door entry system are also included. We will also seek to upgrade the adjoining Swifties Op. The facility will be managed 24/7 by Cornwall housing staff, along with out-of-hours security services similar to the Carrick Cabin site. The building's been designed to provide safe, warm and dry accommodation with space to provide necessary support services. This would be for anything from 3 nights to 6 weeks, depending on the extent of support required, before people transition into medium-term move-on accommodation on their pathway back to settled housing. We've consulted nearby neighbours and businesses and have received support from a large number of consultees, including Truro City Council, the Mayor for Truro, the police and a number of support services.
30 seconds remain.
If approved today, we'll be looking to commence construction in mid-April. This will allow us to have the building up and running in time for the winter 2021 season. This is a rare opportunity to provide a genuinely high-quality, purpose-designed facility to help vulnerable rough sleepers, and one that can make a huge difference to both Truro and those it will accommodate. I urge you to support this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for Mr. Irving, please? Councillor Mould.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Hello, Sam. I'm assuming that the one shop that had an issue is possibly around the alleyway. Is that going to be CCT covered? I'm assuming, you know, the police generally aren't happy with alleyways, are they? Because they're breeding places for all sorts. But are you happy that you can monitor that safely, or can you overcome all the issues that there may well be?
Yes, I believe we can. We've proved that with really intensive support and security services, actually there's been no issues of any particular note on our site in Carrick House at all. It's been really, really successful. It's the same sort of approach we're proposing here. The difference being that this is a purpose-designed facility with all the necessary support facilities that we'll need on site. I can't remember exactly where the objector is based, but it is in the general vicinity. And obviously we're aware of the principle of alleyways being unmonitored spaces. That's why we're going to such great lengths to ensure that it is a safe space. And actually we want to increase the connectivity between the high street and the leaks on the road behind. It's one of the things we're trying to achieve through this scheme. Security and staff will be on site the whole time. All of the surrounding neighbours, whether that be commercial or residential, will know the support team, and they'll be able to access us by phone without any delay at all. And in the event that there were to be an issue in and around the area, then the support team can come out and help resolve that. I am confident that we can manage any issues should they arise, as we've proved we've been able to do on the Carrot Cabin site.
Yeah, I mean, it really looks as though it's going to be purpose built and very fit for purpose. So I'm happy with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I see no further questions. Can you concur, please, Vice Chairman?
Yes, correct, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you. We thank you very much then, Sam. We now move on to hear from the local member, if he is with us. Councillor Biscoe, are you with us? Have we had any notification from Councillor Biscoe, please, Emma?
Chairman, no, I've received no notification from Councillor Biscoe, and he doesn't appear to be on the call.
Right, thank you. Then in that case, we move straight into questions of the planning officer, please.
You've got Councillor Kenny there.
Yeah, I think Councillor Kenny has probably posted that by mistake. Councillor
right.
Kenny. Is
No,
that right?
any questions?
Yeah, right. So no questions of the planning officer, nothing shown. Can you confirm that, please, Vice Chairman?
Yes, Chairman, thank you.
Thank you. Then in that case, we move straight into debate, please. Councillor Mott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just think this is a brilliant scheme. It looks as though it's set out, and I would like to propose that we approve as set out.
Thank you. Councillor Kenny, you've indicated, would you be happy to second that?
Happy to second. No one's objecting. The concerns of the shop, I think they've been mitigated. So yes, happy to second.
Thank you. Now I have no one else indicating at the moment that they wish.
Councillor Dyer and Councillor Thomas, John Thomas.
Oh, sorry, there's some hands up, are there? Right, Councillor Dyer.
Thank you, ma'am. All I would point out is on page 107, item number 11, divisional member, and Bert Biscoe, Mayor of Truro, is supporting the reuse of Chust House. So I think that's your local opinion, Mayor of Truro, yes. Significant member, and he's happy enough to support it. Take the vote as quick as you can.
I will, Councillor Dyer. Councillor Thomas.
Yes, Madam Chairman, just to say that this is you can't say any other, that this is a much needed scheme. You know, the more we get of these, the better it's going to be. It's far better for having these people now living rough on the street to be in one building where they can associate and meet with each other under these, carefully controlled circumstances. It's such a wonderful idea, Madam Chairman. Yeah, it needs all the support we can give them and more to come.
I agree. Thank you. Thank you very much, Councillor Thomas. Councillor Tudor.
Yeah, I want my camera on because it's breaking up at my end, but I just wanted to say that obviously this is a good idea, and I think we will support the situation. Truro is bad, and this building sitting there doing nothing. Just one thing I did want to say though, and wanted to make sure that it was in the minutes, was that the consultation with the surrounding businesses was not as good as it should be, let's put it like that. And so, I've actually had shop owners stop me in the street about this when I've been in Truro. So I would just hope that going forwards that nearby businesses that the council continue to liaise and keep communication open with the nearby businesses, and all the, as I say, the security cameras and measures are put in place so that it doesn't cause a problem.
Right. Thank you very much, Councillor Tudor. Right, I have a proposal then. I can't see anyone else indicating to speak. Oh, Councillor Kenny, did you wish to speak?
I already seconded the motion.
So you did. I'm sorry. Obviously, it's been a long day. So I have a proposal for approval as set out, proposed by Councillor Mould, seconded by Councillor Kenny. Emma, would you like to take the vote, please?
Thank you, Chairman. If you could please indicate whether you're for or against. Councillor Alvey.
For.
Councillor Brown.
For.
Councillor Bull.
For.
Councillor Dyer. Councillor Dyer. You're on mute. Councillor Dyer, you're on mute.
I have unmuted it and I am in favour of the proposition.
Thank you. Councillor Jewell.
For.
Councillor Kenny.
For.
Councillor Martin.
For.
Councillor May.
For.
Councillor Mould.
For.
Councillor Thomas.
Definitely for.
Councillor Tudor.
For.
Councillor Simmons.
For.
Thank you, Chairman. I can confirm the motion to approve has been carried unanimously.
Thank you very much. A second unanimous in one day. Wonderful. Thank you. I have, sorry, we're on to agenda item 5, any other business of urgency, and there is none. So I want to thank you all, thank Councillor May in particular, all the officers and all of you. We got through it pretty well, didn't we, in the end? Not too bad at all.
Very well, Madam Chairman, I think, in the circumstance of some items, very good.
I do as well, I think.
Well done, Jackie. Very good.
Absolutely.
Well done, all of us. So thank you very much and see you next time.
Well done, Jackie.
I'll wait for confirmation when the
Thank you,
live stream has stopped.
Lovely. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, cheers all.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you all. Just wait.